The Conjuring series is not necessarily the scariest. I don't think it's ever been really considered the scariest series of horror movies, but it surely is one of the most entertaining. If what it lacks in horror, it makes up for in just sheer entertainment. And this third one is no exception. It's super fun. It does contain a lot of jump scares, more than I remember from the other two. I haven't seen the other two in a while. I haven't seen them when they came. I didn't see them when they came out. When they first came out, it hasn't been that long. But I haven't seen them I saw them maybe a few months back. I don't really remember that many jump scares compared to this one. I feel like this one had a lot more. But it's still, in my opinion, I would say that it's still scarier than the first two. And not only because of the jump scares, there was a lot of just the way that the story was told, the setting, the locales that they used for the horror scenes, just everything, in my opinion, was a lot more scarier than the first two. It wasn't just your simple, oh, there's a demon in the house, they go, they exorcise it. There is that, of course. That's instead of it being the whole movie, as it was in the first and second, the whole oh, there's a demon, let's go exorcise it, that's more of the premise to the movie and what sets up the events that lead to the actual big problem of the movie, the big conflict that they need to resolve, right? And like I said, there are a lot of interesting scenes, interesting settings for horror scenes, because they don't have to be confined to the house setting that the first two had to be confined to, right? Without going into too many spoilers, we have a scene in the forest, which a forest, I admit, is not that different, but we have a scene in a prison, we have a scene in a morgue. It's not necessarily places that you see in every horror movie. Usually it's a house or a forest or an underground tunnel, an underground setting, right? In Conjuring 3, there's a lot of different settings. And even if those settings aren't necessarily groundbreaking, you've never seen them before, it's the combination of all of them that makes it very interesting. And it also keeps it fresh. You're not always seeing the same things, right? The villains for the movie, I guess it's kind of weird to say the villains in a Conjuring movie, but the villain, I guess, you're not really, I don't really want to go into too much spoilers, but you're not really dealing with just demons. You're dealing with something else, which again makes it a lot more interesting, makes it a lot more engaging as well, because when you've seen the Warrens deal with demons already. You know what they can do. You know that they're probably going to win in the end. But when you add, you just spice up the context a little bit and you add just a different element to the conflict, it makes it, it keeps it fresh, makes it different, makes it interesting. Not that the first two weren't interesting, but adding, that little just grain of difference, that little grain of just oh shit, I wasn't expecting that, keeps it fresh for the most part. There's also bigger implications, which is nice, because it's not just oh, they need to exercise it, if they don't, well, fuck, the whole family dies, I guess. Which, I mean, I guess when I say it like that, the implications are pretty fucking big in the other movies too. But in this one, it's I feel like there's grander implications. There's like I said, there's a larger conflict at hand. There's a larger problem at hand than just what we were dealing with in the other movies, which again does keep it interesting. I'm not sure how to describe it without spoiling it, but I will not spoil it, because I think this movie is definitely worth your time. Even if you haven't seen the other two, you should probably watch the other two and then come see this one, because I think it's 100% worth it. And for people who are afraid of horror movies and stuff, I'm not gonna say The Conjuring isn't scary, because it really depends on your tolerance, really. But like I said, they're certainly not some of the scariest. Even if you have a low tolerance, you'll probably be fine. But anyways, for the grade that I would give it, I would give it an A. I think I'm comfortable giving it an A. It was a very, very enjoyable experience. I'm pretty sure it's the last one. I don't actually know if it's the last one, but if it is, it's a fitting end to a nice series. They're probably going to do a million spin-offs, like they've been doing with Annabelle, Conjuring, Annabelle, The Nun, The Curse of La Llorona, all that shit, right? They're probably going to keep doing that because The Conjuring, like you can milk that universe so much, but realistically, outside of the Conjuring movies, their spin-offs are not that great. So I low-key hope that they just kind of leave it at that, because The Conjuring 3 is a very nice and fitting ending to a very entertaining horror series that I had a lot of fun watching.